Well, hello, everybody. It's just about exactly 2:01 Eastern Time, and I'd like to welcome you to this week's quick start. I'm going to type in the chat box here to make sure that those of you here can hear my voice and see my screen, and if you could reply, that would be really helpful. That way we know all the technology is working. Okay, thank you, PM. You see it? Can you hear me okay? Yep, excellent. Okay, that's all I really needed to know for the moment. What we're going to go over today is a nice agenda that helps agents see the newest technology and some very highlighted features that we have available here at Remax Integra. Now, some of those are for agents that are just getting onboarded, so they get a good overview of what it is they're going to be able to connect with and start utilizing. And for others, it's a great update to see what's new and what we're actually implementing over the next few weeks. And also, finally, anything that you might have questions on regarding any of the products or apps I go into. So I'm just going to get started here. And you guys are in listen-only mode, but this is being recorded. So if you need to see it again later, or if somebody missed it today, they can be referred to Remax University, where this will then be posted. So welcome to Quick Start. And again, my name's Maureen Colvin. I'm the Learning and Development Specialist for the New England region. And we are working virtually these days, but hoping to be back in the field soon where I can meet you in person. Hope everybody's families are healthy and well, and that we're all getting through this together. So the agenda today, we're about an hour, and we're going to go over the Max Center sign-in and the referral tab that's within it, because it used to be fairly obscure, not easy to find. I want to make sure everybody knows how to find that, because referral business can certainly reflect a nice increase in your income. I'm going to generally go over the new Boost technology. That includes the CRM and website. I'll give you a couple of ideas and samples. And just remember that we have full Boost training, which can go on fairly lengthy. So this is more of an overview today. Okay, I did get a question: when you get to that area, can we look at a way to alphabetize contacts? That is absolutely possible. It's simply in a sort mode. Next, I'm going to go over Remax Hustle and the Marketing Resource Guide. The Marketing Resource Guide is a long document. It's a PDF, but it has active links in it. And it will take you to every marketing feature we have that you can utilize without having to travel the long route by going into several accounts, knowing what folder to search for, and then knowing what to type in order to get the piece you're looking for. This particular guide gives you a big red button that says just click here, and it'll take you to just what you're looking for. I do distribute this to everybody that's registered for our quick start today, so you'll get that after the fact. And one of the things I highlight in that marketing guide is Remax Hustle. If you haven't heard about it, it's a website, remaxhustle.com, and it allows you to make some really quick and effective marketing pieces, which I will demonstrate. I'll go through Design Center automation and explain or remind people of how important it is to utilize that set of marketing materials that are automatically sent to you every time you enter a listing in MLS. And then I would like to point out the first app, because Remax is offering you 3 months free at this time. And it's a very, very good step beyond a CRM to really identify those contacts and leads that are in your system already who are ripe to do business, so you want to get on the phone with them. And finally, the new Remax 360 tool, which is an absolute must for today's virtual selling. So what I'm going to start with is making sure you understand how to get to all of these features. And you have to sign into Max Center using your remax.net credentials. That's absolutely vital. You have to make sure that's those credentials, which is again your remax.net. See, mine says mcolvin@remax.net, and then your password. And if you need to reset your password to get in here, you can easily do that as well. But it's very vital that you get into Max Center before you try using all of these features and update your profile. By updating your profile, you are creating your branding for things like your photograph is going to appear in the mobile app, it's going to appear in your website, it's going to appear in the referral network, and all of the profile information that you type in is going to be front and center for everybody to see and read, consumer facing, and they're going to judge you on what is in that profile. And if it's not really thorough, they might just pass on to somebody else's who it is. So I really recommend that you go into this update profile button. And I'm just showing you a brief overview via this PowerPoint. We will go in and show you this live as well. So when you hit the update profile button, you are going to come to this list, this column of different categories: the overview, general info, contact info, photo, professional details. And as an agent, you will have even more here. Mine is a test account for myself, but you will have even more drawers here, so to speak, to open. So what you want to do is make sure you open each category, fill in the information, and be very thorough with your biography. That is the About You section that shows up on your website and on your bio pages, and again in the referral network. So what people read about you in your bio is the only impression they can get of you. So don't be too vanilla, be really thorough, let them know what you're all about, what is your niche in the market, what's your experience level, and how you think you set yourself apart. You'll go into the contact info and make sure all of that is right. Make sure you upload a high resolution photo directly into Max Center. Even if you already have a photo that's somewhere else and it auto-populates, you want to re-upload it here directly so that by the time it transfers to your website or other places, it remains high res and the pixels are clear. If you have it pass on from one platform to another, eventually by the time it gets to your website, it's very blurry. And then your personal details. So there's more to that, but you will be able to see each of these columns when you get in there, and that's where you want to update the profile. Once you've done that, you're going to enter into the apps section of the Max Center, and you'll have all kinds of tiles in here to choose from. I just highlighted this short list because I want to point out this is where you go in to get your Max Center referral set up. This is where you're going to be identified, as well as where you're going to look to identify other agents that you might want to refer business to. When you type in, let's say, a location, once you're in the referral network, you might say you have a client who's moving to Orlando, and you want to check out what offices are in that area. So you choose the offices and you type in the location, and you will get a long drop-down list. And for the sake of this demonstration, I just chose one that happens to be directly in Orlando. And when I did, they showed me the office information, the owners, managers, and number of agents, things like that, exactly where it is. And when I went in to see the affiliate list, I got the name of the agents that are in there. And in this case, I literally picked random to see what Peggy Brock has to offer. She was right in the middle, so I grabbed that. And when I look at her referral, I can definitely see a little bit of what she's all about. She's got a nice picture. You can clearly see she's got some young children in her life. She's a broker, her years of business, what are her hobbies. All of these things help us decide if we're going to really have a good relationship with someone, and or if we think they're a good fit for our client that we might be sending to her location. Once you decide that she is a good and you're going to read more into it, by the way. This is just a quick glimpse, but there's plenty more to read. Once you decide you're going to send her the referral, maybe you've had a conversation with her on the phone and you really trust that this is the right choice, you hit the send referral button, and then you fill in all the information that has to go along with the client's needs. So you use the drop down to choose what type of fee you expect, the percentage, and enter the client information. And therefore, once you hit send and you've taken care of all, you can send them a nice little note. Then you've created the contract between the two of you to make sure that when this transaction takes place, you're going to get your referral fee. So now I would like to touch base on the Boosh platform. Now, Boosh is the new technology that we just launched late February, soft launch, started training on it, and it went live on March 31st. So we are currently still doing a lot of training on this, and it is a very intricate platform, but it's very user-friendly. So if you haven't yet had an opportunity to watch a Boosh webinar that will take us through every step of the CRM setup and navigation, show you what's available, as well as the website builder, then it's a really good idea to look at Remax University or our Remax Integra YouTube channel, where all of those previously recorded trainings are there waiting for you. And the ease part of those is that because our trainings are not live currently, we had to condense them into like 90 minutes or 2 hours, when typically we would take almost 4 hours to teach this platform. And then it requires some practice. Now that they're in shorter form virtually, until we have the opportunity to get back out there, what you can at least do is slow the recordings down and listen and review at your own pace. So we have to remind you that Boosh is optimized for Chrome, because we wouldn't want you into something like Internet Explorer and then be hitting a lot of errors and not be sure why. So just starting from the background in, we want to make sure you sign into a Google Chrome platform, whether it be for an HP or a Mac. And just do know that yes, Safari will work and Firefox will work, but they're not the optimized browsers. So you want to try to use Chrome, and definitely do not use Internet Explorer or Internet Edge or any of the older browsers. Next, as I mentioned, we have a whole plethora of training. This is a snapshot of Remax University, which you will find in Mac Center. And if you scroll down to the left, you'll notice under technology, there is a Boosh arrow here to click on that. And when you do, you will see you find a complete library of videos that teach you everything about Boosh, from the overview, CRM, marketing, the websites, the mobile app, consumer tools, teams, and actually more has been added since this particular snapshot was taken, because they're constantly updating. And under each and every one of these, you will find multiple videos that walk you through pieces of this product, and they're easy to comprehend, and most of them are fairly short. They can be anywhere from 2 to 10 minutes, and then the full webinar reviews can be a couple of hours. So once you've signed into your Mac Center account, and you want to then access the Boosh platform, you will see that it is one of the tiles. And if it didn't happen to appear on the top line, that's okay. This is simply because the Boosh tile was favorited, as were these, and everybody's favorites can be different. If it's not here, where you're going is over here to the left-hand side where it says apps, and you're clicking on that. And now you can see the apps button has been darkened, because that's where you are. And that's when you get the full view of all of the products that are within Mac Center. If you would like to favorite Boosh to get it back on the front, you just simply highlight this flag, and the next time you look, it will be here in the front. The first thing that's going to happen when you enter Booge for the first time is you're going to come to this onboarding wizard, which is simply a pipeline of making sure that everything you see here is done correctly. The first click is going to be the terms of use. You have to agree and then hit next. Now, I'm not going to show you every page of these, but basically when you click the next stage will take you to your information. You're going to verify all that and click next. You're going to check data migration. You're going to look at all of that, answer the questions and click next. Offered leads, the same thing. It's going to ask you to put in some information there. Once you click next all the way through, it's going to give you the complete button down here. And when you're really ready, you're going to hit the complete setup. You're going to double check that everything you've done is the way you want it to be. And you're going to finally hit complete, which will take you then into the Booge platform completely. Now, because I'm going to demonstrate it, I just wanted to point out that one of the things you get within the Booge is an agent bio page. Now, this is in addition to your agent website, and it is built off of your Max Center profile. This is one of the reasons you really want to make sure that profile is up to date with a nice picture, a big about you section, and any other specialties that you can offer. This will show up on Remax.com. And when people see this, it's like a summary, it's like a resume. And when they see this of you and they get, customers don't have a long attention span. So what you want to do is make sure they get the snapshot of you that you want them to see. You want to get the biggest bang for your buck and make sure they know the important things about you. And then they will engage by going to your website, which is, again, the additional piece. But this is where they at least get a snapshot to decide if they want to work with you. Then some of the Booge websites, I'm going to show you a couple of samples that were done, but basically they are very clean, they're very user-friendly, they have a lot of different options for design, and I will be showing you a couple of samples. But again, these are separate from the bio page, and agents get them, offices get them, teams get them, every agent within a team gets them, multi-offices get them, so everybody gets their own Booge website. We're also giving you the buyer search mobile app. And I love this mobile app because the consumer can highlight areas in which they want to be shopping, and they can go in and see all of the information about those listings within the neighborhoods that they choose. And here they can use the CRM portion of Booge, where you can use this mobile app to communicate with your customers. It's also going to show you details about any of your contacts, and you can communicate through this to them. You can assign tasks to anything that they happen to be connected to, and you will be able to check it on a daily basis and make sure that you're taking care of the things you've assigned to this particular person. So let's go into the Booge live demonstration. And you just give me a minute, and then we'll be coming back to do a couple of other points of interest here. Let me get in here. Okay, so what I did was I entered Max Center under a test account. And just to point out, remember I went to the right-hand side to show you how to update your profile. It's in the upper right-hand corner. This might be your picture. If it isn't, it's probably a balloon, which you're going to want to change to your picture. But you definitely want to go hit Update Profile. And when you do, again, keep in mind, mine's a test account, so it doesn't have these photographs in there. But this is the list over here to the left that I wanted to make sure you're aware of. And you want to make sure that you understand every one of these categories can be edited. Over to the right-hand side is where you could edit anything in here. Okay? If you check your contact info, this lower Remax.net email is the one we're all assigned when we join Remax. And most people don't need to change that. It's simply a forwarding address to the email you do use every day, which is the one right here, the ISP email. That's the one you want to check to make sure that that's the email you want all your communications going to, as well as the one your clients use. If you give that out to your clients, then that's the one you want there. And the Remax.net simply forwards to that one. But here is where you would edit the ISP email if it wasn't the one you wanted. Very rarely I hear somebody say, I want to change my Remax.net email and I'm going to give that out instead, knowing it forwards to my regular email. And to do that, you would have to go to care.com. That's a background change that only they can make. So that's simply your profile overview. Then you go down these columns for general info. And again, edit, let's say your name here says Susan Jones, but nobody's called you Susan in 10 years and you want to be Sue. Well, this is where you would change it. So it said Sue Jones and save it. And then that's how it would show up on your website. And you go down the list and fill in all the information. Every category you open, again, you want to check the information or add info. Under your web and social media sites, you certainly want to make sure you include those so they show up to the consumer. So you have a Facebook business page, you want to make sure you put those in. Those create those little circle icons that you see, and they're going to start being available within the CRM as well. And you can set whichever type of social media or other websites, office perhaps, that you want to be your primary. Same thing for your phone numbers. You can add multiple phone numbers and you have to identify them with the proper information. And also you can add fax numbers if that's still applicable. Perhaps you have one in your office and you might want to include that as well. Here is the photo category. Simply add your photo. It gives you the directions as to what size they have to be and what format they have to be in. Again, that's important. People usually bypass bios that do not have a photograph. Under your professional details, don't forget you can see most of your licenses will automatically populate here. Just make sure they're correct. You can add specialties. Do you do commercial and residential, or perhaps you're a commercial broker or just residential, whatever you want to put there. And any designations should be displayed here. And in my case, the office areas aren't going to show, but yours will. And if you want to add additional service areas that you personally service, you can do so for every state. Okay? And once you're in your state and area, it gives you all the towns and communities. Commercial activities, if you do anything under these drop downs, there's quite a lot that you can choose from. And any prior affiliations can be filled out as well. Next is personal details, and this is the one I really want you to concentrate on. This is where you put in a good, thorough bio. Just like I've described before, and I'll show you again when I show you some samples. But this is where it goes under the personal details. Make sure yours is filled in well. Here's where you add your educational background. All of these things help people decide if you're a good match. Civic activities, which there are many that you might be a participant in, and you want to let people know that. Hobbies, another way to let people know you have something in common, so please make sure that's filled in. And of course, your primary language, and if you happen to be multi-language, you want to make sure people know that. That's very helpful. Finally, MLS affiliations. Yours will populate here. You want to make sure those are accurate. And then any awards that you've earned while you're at Remax will appear here. And you can see the premium clubs that people aspire to. So that is the Max Center profile setup. that I want to make sure people understand is the basic input you have to do. And now I'm going to go into Booge. And again, this is just going to be an overview to show you what it is that you want to be versed in. And again, if you haven't had any training on this, you definitely want to participate in a more thorough training class. So this is the Booge dashboard. When you click in, the return button to Booge dashboard is the red Booge logo. And what we'll mention first is that the CRM includes the contacts and leads, the deals, the campaigns, your listings, reports, and then over here are some shortcuts and your settings. The website builder is completely separate and it's located here. And when you're building your website, it's a matter of going down into each of these categories and setting it up and designing it as you would like. So briefly, I'm going to show you that when you go into contacts and leads, you're going to see any that have either been brought over from a previous platform like Boomtown or Homes.com if you had them in Lead Street, and it tells you where they came from, or maybe you manually entered them. It's very important to know that you can add from this big blue button an individual simply by filling in the blanks. And you can actually assign tags to people like categories and all their personal information. And you hit add, and they are then in your list right here. To add an entire list, this is where you want to either port them over from a previous system or add them by a CSV file that is in your computer. And CSV files are Excel sheets. And if you don't have one, you can download our template here. And when I open it, after it downloaded into my laptop, it's going to show me the categories that port into Booge. And the main difference between this one and some others you might have is that this actually includes places to put tags. Again, those are the same as categories, and notes. And of course, here we have important dates. So this is a good one to save if you want to export your contacts from all other places, whether it be Gmail or Outlook or an old wedding list, a Christmas card list, whatever the case may be. Get them all on one CSV file, and then once you choose it and hit next, it will start the import process for you. Now, when we're asked about how to sort, here you can sort by last name or first name, and you can reset all filters, and everything will automatically sort alphabetically. Okay, so you can either choose how to find people, or when you reset filters and there's none in place, it's simply going to give you an alphabetical list. You're also going to be able to find duplicates. Let's say you want to check last names. There's a few people in here with the same last name. You just want to make sure it's not a dupe. These are all different people. All right, so that's, once you have your contacts and leads imported, you can go into each and every one and review their entire contact record, which is part of the major training. The contact record allows you to input and utilize all of these categories of any one person. So this one person in your list has an entire contact record. And what we suggest is that you go into this and practice with each of these categories, get to know them, and take the training. It's a wonderful opportunity to build this over time. You don't have to have it all filled in at once, But as you work with someone or get to know them, or as they move down your pipeline, make sure you fill in all this activity taking place, whether it be phone calls, meetings, or notes. Now under deals, again, if you see this, it gets visually familiar. On the big right-hand side is a big add deal section. And that's what you would click to enter a deal, which side it's on, what stage they're in, and all this other information. And if they're if you use DocuSign, Dotloop, or ZipLogic, you're able to integrate those. And then you can decide if this deal is going to be synced to that account. And again, move further on. When you do have your deals in your pipeline, you're going to see them under each stage. You can enter them and manipulate and add and subtract information. And you can also view them in a list. Our campaign section allows you to build all kinds of marketing. And these are samples that I've built in demos. Again, we're going to give you just an overview today, but I highly suggest you come in here and open all these categories and practice seeing how they work. There's nothing you're going to break, and you can certainly enjoy yourself by going in and adding campaigns and learning how, let me just move this out of the way, learning how to build them based on these options that give you a builder. You can choose templates. And there's 116 right here. Recurring. If it has a big blue button over here, that means it's an available option for you to build a campaign like that. If you click on it and it just says coming soon, that means they're working on it, and you'll get that option again later. With the newsletter, you can see now we have a big blue button. So you can build a newsletter campaign, and it's always giving you a preview and editing capabilities. You can also decide who's going to get it and when. Back to campaigns. Recipient lists allow you to create lists of bulk people that you want to market to specifically over something very specific. And again, the templates view show you here, and you can see anywhere between 5 and 100 results at a time. You can preview them and decide which ones you'd like to use. Now, under listings, because you have yours connected to the MLS, yours are all going to pull over here, and you're going to see your listings here. You can click on them and utilize what's called the listing manager. And again, that's something you would practice. You just go in there, open up the listing, and you will see all of the opportunities you have to fine-tune it. I'm going to skip website just for a minute to stay in the CRM. And then when I open reports, you can say, I want a seller report based on my listing at, and I want a report from this range to that range. And then customize it and save and exit. There will be templates available to you, and you're able to create your own. So that is basically your CRM. The other piece I'll mention is the settings. This is important to know that these settings and the settings pages all have to be filled out. Okay, and again, a lengthy training on each of these parts is available, but a few of the things I want to point out is the contacts and leads section, where you want to decide how you want to view your contacts and leads. If you have notifications, how you want to be told of any of the events that are taking place here, and you can check and uncheck these as you like. If you want to build category tags, as I told you before, you simply add them, you can create them. And you can even color code them. And here we have a new tag. So those can be then assigned to any of your contacts and leads. Under custom fields, you can even add fields that are more specific. So then you could market to people who were actually in your first app under 3 stars. They have, what are their kids' names, is what price range are they in, etc. And when we go further down, I'm going to go into something called system just to show you. And this is where you can connect your BombBomb video account so that you can email directly out of the, you can send campaigns with BombBomb videos directly out of your campaign section versus via your BombBomb account. And this is where you can integrate your DocuSign.loop or zip form transaction management, paperless transaction management to your deals. So therefore, you can integrate your paperwork for each deal by having it connected to your account here. All right, and again, tasks here is something you might want to note. Task plans means you want to assign certain actions every time a certain event takes place. So if you're going in with a buy or close, you want to create this task plan and add tasks to whatever you're going to do in the prospecting stage, whatever you're going to do when the listing is active and pending and so forth. And even after that, you can have those tasks automated. All right, so remember, that was in the settings, and the rest of this was all under each category. So I'm briefly going to now go to the website and show you that this is where you would build your website out. And it would start by showing you how to build your home page or change it, and everything's done with building blocks. So if you like this picture, then you would continue to build on it, but you can, everything's a block. So this is a block associated with the image with search, and you can edit that, and you can even turn it on and off into draft mode, depending if you want to work on it before it gets published. And even if it is published, you can still shut off that portion if you want to update it. And then each part of this, like a call to action, see how it says sign up for an account? That's your call to action. So you can review it and edit it as you wish. Here is the bio option. And this is, again, the about you that you put in your Max Center profile. So what you're doing is you're using building blocks to create the pages. All right, and what you're going to do is learn how to go down this list and utilize each one of these through other trainings that can give you more specific information. For the sake of time, I've got more to show you. So again, that's an overview of Booge. This is the website section. The rest is the CRM, and there is lots of other training available in depth on this topic. I just wanted to make sure you were able to see a good idea and get a peek of the inside in case you haven't already. All right, so the next thing I want to show you today is what's called the Remax Integra Marketing Resources Guide. And this is where you will find an enormous amount of information. This is a PDF version where when you click on certain buttons, you are able to go right into these products, and I'm going to show you them. For instance, if you wanted to watch a video on the first app, all you do is click that. And hold on one second, excuse me. This is the version that I wanted to point out. This is the PDF version here. And as I scroll through, you'll notice that there is a whole selection of big red buttons that take you everywhere you need to be. So if I need to submit a ticket to our support team, all I did was click the button, and here I am on the submit a ticket page. As I scroll through, you will see an enormous amount of resources. If you want to get logos or social shareables, marketing claims and slogans, you simply click on that portal button and it takes you exactly where you need to be. I was accidentally signed out of Mac Center, but it brings me right back in. And this is where I would find all of those opportunities. I can click on digital and it'll give me all kinds of files that I can choose from, print, share, copy, etc. As I move further through, I'm going to show you this, how to build commercials. They're customizable. There are new listing videos that you can make through Remax Hustle, because now we're doing so much virtually. You want to be able to have listing videos that are simple and quick. We have the branding. We're going to go over Design Center and the automation. I do want to point out Design Center automation. This is specifically something all agents receive once they enter a listing in their MLS. Now, what happens is after you enter the listing in MLS, the Design Center automation gets queued, and it is going to create for you, based on the pictures and text that you put in MLS, packages that you can utilize for advertising. And you're going to get a package when it's just listed. If you entered a price reduction into MLS, you'll get another one. If you add an open house into MLS, you'll get pieces that you can use to advertise the open house. And when it's marked sold, you'll also get a just sold package that you can distribute to people to let them know you were successful in that transaction. And here's just a sample of what it looks like when it comes in your email and the things you can choose. So this is a fabulous advantage for you, because even in a listing presentation, you're going to be able to say you have such a strong marketing team behind you that as soon as you get your listing in MLS, by tomorrow, you're going to be getting a whole set of professional materials you can utilize to start marketing their home and giving it the highest exposure possible. We have luxury branding. So for homes that qualify for that, you will have all kinds of marketing materials, and that actually has its own resource guide you can download as well. And commercial real estate, our remaxglobal.com, our consumer mobile app, all of these things give you an opportunity to watch the video and understand how to utilize and obtain them. I've mentioned Remax University a couple of times already, so you know that's where you go whenever you need help. You can go in here and get information on the Children's Miracle Network so that you can become a miracle agent if you choose. Here's the agent guide. And that can be a great option for people. A lot of consumers, if they're sort of on the fence about who to work with, they might very well choose the one that says, you know, I give back to the community. I participate as a miracle agent by donating, I believe it's $25 per transaction that you agree to donate to the Children's Miracle Network. And that allows you to advertise yourself as a miracle agent, and your properties can be miracle homes. And it always initiates a conversation, and people appreciate that. So sometimes that can break the barrier between who I'll work with and who I won't. You're going to be able to see our events and training all on soldsignblog.com, and this link would take you directly to that calendar, as you can see. Here's today's quick start that we're talking about right now, and other training opportunities right through June at this point. And then you'll see upcoming notes as well. A minute, I just gotta get back to my. There we go. Now, the first app, this is, again, something I wanted to talk to you about. Currently are getting an opportunity to sign up for the first app for 3 months free. And what the first app does is, first of all, it's in Mac Center. And I want to show you that. I thought I had a glimpse of where exactly it was in the Mac Center platform, but here you will see a first app option. And that is where you would go in order to get the information you need. What Remax first does is it takes your contact list. So you want to import it into your first app, whether they come from your phone or there's an email address that you can send your CSV file. They will all be imported into your Remax first app. It is currently free for the first 3 months. And what it does is it examines your internal contact base and evaluates every single one of your contacts or leads by looking at over 700 different data points. And ultimately, it chooses those in your database and ranks them with a star rating. The 3-star rating means those people are very likely to sell this year. The 2-star people aren't far behind. And the 1-star people are leaning there. They may have some time between now and actual action, but they're certainly worth keeping in touch with. And the difference between this first app and a passive CRM, passive CRMs are important because they keep you top of mind. They're showing up on people's social media. They're seeing you in their apps. They're seeing you in emails and newsletters and things like that. However, this app identifies for you very specifically who you should call on the phone. This is about making sure you have a conversation with those people who are most likely to sell this year. And you will be able to then hopefully move on to the next step with them. And one stat I have is that an agent who really felt he was very well set because all his business came from a long time history of referrals, still gave first a chance and discovered that out of the phone calls he made to those 3-star contacts, he got 18 different meeting appointments. So whether that be a coffee meeting when we're back in the field or a virtual meeting via a Zoom, something like that, he was able to get 5 listings that year that he would never have gotten before because he wouldn't have realized those people were so close. They were buried somewhere deep within his contact base. That's a really nice opportunity to be able to know who's very close to taking action and you being the one to make that phone call that connects you again. After the 3-month free, the prices are here. Overall, the best value is $39 a month. For a year, it totals $465. But in that first 3 months, you might have a really good idea if that's worth it to you, and then you can make an educated decision. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you about was the Remax 360 tours. And Remax 360 is a new product being offered by Remax. And this is an incredible opportunity. You can see basically this whole startup guide, and it tells you how to get started. But basically, it's creating an account. You either have an opportunity to look over some cameras they recommend, or you can just get an attachment for your newer iPhone, which works very well. It shows you how to take the pictures you need to, and when you upload your images and send them off to the company within 24 hours, you get a complete virtual tour, which I'm looking forward to showing you. So I wanted to show you that because this is the newest thing that has been offered to Remax agents, and the price point is extremely affordable. What we have here is the opportunity to sign up and at special Remax discount pricing. It is only $14.99 per month per user. And then for every tour you send off to the company, it's a minimum of a $10 charge where you can send them 10 photographs where they will create that image that you just saw. And if you choose to add more than 10, then it's $1 per photo over that. But that is a very, very affordable rate that they've given special to Remax. Again, $14.99 per user per month, and then $10 base rate for each tour. It's an unlimited amount of tours. You can do this for every home. And given this is the virtual environment we're in, this is a fantastic opportunity to show this to your sellers and say, this is how I can sell your house without having anybody unnecessary walk through it or anybody walk through it at all. Only somebody has to go in to get those photographs, and you can certainly do that in a safe manner regarding our protocols. So the last thing I wanted to point out today is Remax Hustle. This is on one of the pages in the resource guide, but it's also simply a website. And I'm going to take you to that website right now and show you a few marketing pieces that you can do very quickly. I think this is one of my favorite parts of the marketing guide. But again, it's also a direct website. You can go to on your own. It's called Remax Hustle, and it allows you to build customized commercials that really mimic the Remax commercials you're watching on TV yourself. So I recommend you come to this page, practice sending a welcome mat. That's something you can post on social media. Maybe you want to say something about home sweet home, we're all in this together, and send notes that aren't necessarily always a sales pitch. Just, I'm thinking of you while we're all at home. Hope you and your family are well. Create a little welcome mat and send that along, or post it, email it, whichever you prefer. Go in and look at a hustle graphic opportunity. They're really fun and colorful, and it's a nice little addition to your bio. And here, let's make a commercial based on the community response to our current situation. So what we're going to build is a commercial about you and how we're handling the current situation. I'm going to upload a headshot, as you can as well. Should be in my training. And when you do that, it allows you to space it so that it looks the way you want. And then you can add a personal message. I'm just going to say I'm here for you and create the video. Now, these videos are extremely short, and that's important because that's all we get for an attention span. So I really like that one for the current situation, but I also just want to point out one or two that will allow you to customize another video as an advertisement for yourself. So let's look at the tools of a Remax agent. And again, it's just asking you to fill in your basic information. And upload the headshot again. And then you get to choose 3 of these value adds, and you choose 3 at a time, and the rest you save, and you can use another 3 another time. So there's really unlimited options as to how you can advertise. So for today, let's say we're doing 3D home tours. We want everybody to know that they can sign virtually and that you're good at negotiation. later on, you can come back and make another commercial with other features. You just pick your music and then create this video. And again, this you can post to social media, email, download it, and just about anything you want to do with it is available. So that is, again, one of my favorite parts of some of our resources that we have to offer. And again, that was on Remax University. I'm sorry, remaxhustle.com. So we're getting up on 3 o'clock, and I believe I've gone over all of the things I wanted to show you. Keep in mind, there are always support and help for you. And here is the tile that shows you your Max Center is where you're going to look for some updates on, it's called Recharge, things that will tell you about Booge release notes, anything new. Also Remax University is where you can see webinars, how-to videos of all of the things I've just pointed out to you. And I really thank you for participating today. It's exactly 3 o'clock. And I just wanted to let you know that this has been recorded and it will be posted on Remax University and the YouTube Integra channel. And you will also get a copy of the resource guide and this recording once it's been finalized. And anybody that registered for this quick start will get a copy of those so that you can go ahead and utilize those features that I have just demonstrated. Again, it's Maureen Colvin saying thank you for attending, and I hope you and your families are staying well during this unusual time. Take care now.